Good evening and welcome to the Winners Culture. I'm your host. It's just JJ, aka Jamie Smalls, and your other host to my left we have.
I'm just Daryl. 1 R, 1 Y, 1 L. Y'all should know this by now.
It's Blondie.
It's Blondie, and today we have a special guest, man. My man, Rashee, aka the Honey Man. Introduce yourself, good brother.
I'm She, man. I don't really, man, that's how I'm introduce myself.
Yeah, man. So today we got a special episode where we gonna get to the real ins and outs of honey. You see what I'm saying? Not everybody know about the honey, so we here with the Honey Man, and even more than honey, just all the entrepreneurship that go with the honey. You see what I'm saying? So Mr. Honey Man, can you tell us about yourself, like you though? You know, yourself personally? A little bit. Yeah.
So I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Okay.
So I'm She. I already told y'all that, man. Not only do I don't go by the Honey Man. That's like I never put my face to the brand, but I got other stuff going on too. But by myself.
Where you from?
I'm from Chester. I mean, I grew up in Chester, but I moved out of Chester when I was like 13. Moved to the county, then moved to Philly. But I was born and raised in Chester. Like, that's where my family from. My whole family from Chester. Okay. I went to middle school in Chester. Went to high school in Philly, though. West Philly. I went to West Cabot. So that's where I graduated high school from. And I went to college out Westchester University. And, yeah, man. I graduated in 2018.
Yeah, we've been out for some time.
Yeah, I graduated 20. I was supposed to graduate way before that, man. Graduated 2018. What else? I went to school. We went to school with the same thing. I went to school with strength and conditioning originally. Then I saw what that was really about, like, and that wasn't for me.
So speaking of that, like you said, you might as well just give us your story of entrepreneurship. Like, how did you know?
Period, like with everything.
Yeah, like how'd you end up into the different things that you into business for yourself in general?
Yeah, I basically almost touched on it. So when I graduated college, so originally I went to school, strength and conditioning, and I did my internship at Villanova. And then when I seen what that was about, I mean, how much time I spent at Villanova? I spent almost a year at Villanova. So I was working for free for six months.
Wow.
But I seen what went with it, though. Like, I was waking up 3 a.m, getting home at night. I wasn't getting no sleep.
Right.
And I used to see, like, how my coach, it was the real strength and conditioning coach, but he was the person coaching me to show me how the ins and outs about it. He just was, I ain't see me being him. Like, he didn't make me want to do it. He was depressed all the time. He had money problems, wasn't seeing his family. It was too much going on. And he was only making like $60,000 a year for all the hours he was putting in from 3 in the morning to 7 p.m. It just wasn't adding up. So it wasn't worth it. So I felt like it wasn't something I wanted to do. So with that being said, like, after seeing all that, that's when I started trying to figure other stuff out as far as like stuff, how I could still have enough time for at this time I ain't had no family. I had, of course, my mom, but like how in the future I could still have enough time for my family but still be able to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying?
So you was looking for more so like a residual income where you ain't have to be there all of the time.
Yeah, that.
And with flexibility. You can have time for yourself.
Yeah, or even if something I love. Like, he was
my
coach ended up in the mental hospital, bro. At Elwood, bro. You heard of Elwood?
Yeah.
He ended up there, bro. Like, he went crazy. Like, he lost his mind.
Wow.
But it was so much he had so much going on. Like, he just went missing one day. And nobody knew where he was at. And the reason I found out where he was at, cause they didn't want to tell us. The coaches knew, but they didn't tell us.
Right.
The reason I found out where he was at is one of the other coaches gave me the number. They said, yeah, call his number and ask for him. And I Googled the number.
And that's what was facility. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
You didn't call him?
No, I didn't. The reason I didn't call him because I really, really felt like he didn't want me to know that he was there. He didn't want me to know that. They just were telling me call him, like, because I kept asking about him, but he ain't want me to know that he was there. I know that for sure. But yeah, that's really the reason. I couldn't see myself doing that, and you remember I ain't gonna say his name, but cause you put me on, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Doing what?
You block stuff out on this one?
Huh?
I don't want to say his name, but you know, man, cause you introduced me to. We went to the event, and I saw how they was living.
Okay, yeah.
And they introduced me to a whole nother life, and I'm like, damn, this shit really real. But you know how that ended too. But
that's when you first seen like
that's when I seen
entrepreneurship.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's basically the same thing as what I'm doing.
Right.
But yeah, so
that's what started it all for you.
yeah,
I think that's interesting to hear that. Like that guy's 9 to 5 drove him darn near to insanity.
Yeah.
I think it's also an important part of like chasing what it is you want to do or what you're passionate about.
Right.
Like I feel like today's society and more so like our parents, they'll push you to like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. But if that's not your passion, you could literally end up in a mental hospital.
But that's more than a 9 to 5. They be wanting you to have like a career.
Yeah.
He dedicated his whole life to that.
Yeah.
And like,
And the crazy
Then
part
they
about
went
it
on the
though
show
is
he
that
ended up
like
still losing his family because he ended up there.
I know his wife wasn't happy.
Right.
nobody else could be happy outside the job. The only people who could really be happy in that situation is the people that you serving. You feel what I'm saying? And not even they appreciate. They didn't like the players when we was coaching didn't understand how long we was there or didn't understand the preparation that went into their training session. They just think
I never did. Like, I played football in college, but I thought we was the ones working.
Yeah,
Bro,
you didn't
coach,
realize
they
that.
working, bro. They working harder than us, bro. Like
way harder.
Like they
Shout
really.
out to all my coaches.
Yeah. Like I used to wake up
I
6
hated
in the
my
morning.
coaches. I did at one point. I really did. I hated them. They made me cry.
I feel like that's the
always
crazy
hated my
part.
coach. I never had a relationship. I did, but I never
it
had a
was
relationship
good,
with
but
my
it was
coaches
like-
that was that I like. A lot of my teammates used to have a relationship with the coaches like on some pop type time. Like I never had that. Yeah, I used to go at it with my coaches. Honestly, I wasn't the coach's pet type of ball cause it just wasn't me. But
I feel like that's the crazy part about the situation, right? You could hate your coach or all that, and the whole time they giving their whole like literally their whole life,
Pouring
their
into
sanity, their whole thing to
Yeah.
try and make sure y'all are better people or that you're a better athlete or that you can win or all them things I didn't understand until later.
And in my mind, they just making us do all this so we could win.
Right.
they are.
And I'm-
They are though.
Yeah,
That is-
but
that
it's
is-
deeper than that. Like
It
you
is
know,
deeper.
it's
They actually some coaches and players have real genuine relationships. I've seen
Right.
it like to where when I graduated, one of the people that was on my team, him and the coach still like this. Like you see him, they talk, you call him, he cried like like when he graduated, the coach cried that like they had a real relationship. So like some people really, but I ain't never had
That's
that.
cool. I think it just still speaks to like the passion, like making sure that that's where your passion lie, and that's how you can pour into somebody else. But I was gonna ask you, with that being said, with that sparking the idea and the influencing you to go like, what can I do? What was your first thing that you got into when you entered entrepreneurship? Like, what was your first venture?
It's crazy. My first venture wasn't even like, it was little stuff I would do with my friends. Like my friend, you know him. Like my friend, he got a clothing line. He started a clothing line.
Right.
He used to just call me for little stuff. He ain't
Who the
like-
friend? Get name. Shout out
like
to
my friend Deontay.
Okay.
Named Tay. He had
Shout out to
Shout out to
Playmaker.
Playmaker Apparel.
He got a Playmaker on right now.
Yeah, he got a clothing line. But when he
Right.
first started his clothing line, he would ask me, obviously he couldn't get funding because to get funding you gotta actually already have something going on. So he used to ask me to,
Help
I
out.
invest in his company and then
Right.
help him like that
Right.
way. So that was my first venture. Then after that was what I was talking about with you.
Yeah.
I had started. He introduced me to somebody. He took me to like this business networking event.
Right.
Introduced me to somebody. He ain't do it though. He crazy. But he locked me in with him. So the guy, this guy was like a mentor for me. But
That's
the
what's
reason
up.
I didn't do this is because I'm real big on like being myself.
Yeah.
And they used to try to change me, like, talk a certain way,
Dress a certain way. Yeah.
I ain't like that. So that's why that ain't work out for me. But I understood what they was trying to do.
Right.
They trying to make you like you can walk in any room, but I'd rather just be myself. I'm cool.
Authentic.
You can't take me how I am. Then I'm cool off that. But I learned a lot from them though, because they used to give me like books that I read, and that's changing mindset. Like them type of books. He used to give me books. He taught me how to like sell stuff basically.
Wow.
And I learned a lot from him. But like I said, it didn't work out because I hate saying this, but I don't like it sound real like childish, but I don't like people telling me what to do. So
a lot
like,
of people though.
so like he
A lot of
used to
people
tell
like
me
people.
certain stuff like I see we go to an event, I see somebody I know. He'd tell me like, hey, you can't talk to them. And In my head, I'm like,
no, I understand.
I don't know if I can cuss on this joint. In my head, I'm like, yo, you talking to like me? But yeah, that's why they ain't work out. And let me think. Whatever venture, I used to do a bunch of ventures, like a bunch of little stuff. I can't even think.
So it started with like, it sounded like it started with the exposure, just getting exposed to different forms of entrepreneurship, and then dibbling and dabbling.
Yeah,
See what you liked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So, the honey. Was it like a personal experience or?
Oh yeah.
So you tried it
Yeah. So that's how. Like I got a son. My son, he'll be 8 months soon.
from the honey.
Yeah. my first time taking the honey. And my son's middle name Royal. But my first time taking the honey. It's
I give credit where it's due.
yeah. But yeah, my first time taking it.
You want to tell him that? You want to tell him that someday?
Sure.
That, like, your name Royal because
Transparency.
Men are wild. Like what?
Yeah, but it's just my first experience. It was a great experience though. But it's crazy because my first experience was my first time taking it. My first time taking it, I didn't actually, get active. So it was like a waste. But my second time taking it was my first experience, and it was a good experience. So that's what made me get into it, because I realized, like I said, I used to try to do other stuff, like sell clothes, stuff like that.
Right.
A lot of people do, like, sell clothes. A lot of people sell. I don't know that many people that sell sexual enhancements, though, besides stores.
Yeah.
I don't know no person that do that.
Right.
But what made me do it was when I first, like, how I found about it, obviously, was, like, social media. I saw it, like, I kept seeing it, like, I just was seeing it. So I tried to find it. So I finally found, like, an original one at this store. But when I tried to purchase it, I always think about like we were just saying, like, entrepreneur mind. Every time you buy something, you just always thinking of opportunity. So when I tried to purchase it, I'm like, man, I wonder if I could find these joints.
Buy them
Because the price of just one was just like out of pocket.
Yeah.
And I wonder
How much is
what
one?
was the price?
How much
like
was
one
that
little
first one?
pack? One little pack is $10. I mean, I think it was like $15 this time.
Wow. So a single use was 15.
Yeah. So if you want a box, the 12, that's $120.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So I started trying to find out, like, I always do this. Every time I see something new, I try to find like a wholesaler, see how much they sell it for.
Right.
I found somebody. And long story short, the numbers just was crazy. Like the profit margin was just so crazy. Like people say they sell at the stores, but like I said, for 12, you gotta spend at least $120
To get it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you come to me, you get a box for $40. You know?
Right.
Uh-huh.
It's different, but I'm saying, like, the profit margin is just crazy too, because it's like, I ain't gonna tell everything, but it just made so much sense.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And nobody was selling it, like you said. And
Yeah.
like you said, like, how many people do we know that even sell sexual enhancements? You feel what I'm saying? Matter of fact, y'all ever try enhancements?
I have not.
You already
Come on, man. Stop playing.
I have not.
Playing, bro.
ain't never tried no enhancements.
I have not.
Blondie?
No, I
You ain't
didn't.
try no enhancements either?
No, sadly.
Man, that's crazy.
Did you?
No, I did. I had to tap in with my man. It's not
Nah.
even. You feel what I'm saying? It's no
How
brainer.
was your experience? How was your first experience? Or your second one? I don't know if your first, because my first one wasn't all the way. How was your experience?
Listen, every time I tried it, it was 100. And I can't lie, like, it's just something about it that I don't know. But like when you take the pack, it's like you get superpowers.
Yeah,
I feel away because my uncle said he used it, and it's like
You don't want to hear about
I
that.
don't want to hear about my aunt
Testimonials.
uncle.
Uncle's talking about this stuff.
Listen,
Yeah, and a lot of
just
people
so-
be trying to say, like, because people be like, yeah, we too young for it. It's for the sport. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just fun. Like, it's an experience. It's fun. It's for the sport. It ain't about, I don't need it.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. What
I don't
do
have nothing against it. It's just not my uncle.
No.
not your, what do your clientele be looking like? You feel what I'm
They
saying?
be looking like everything.
You be-
60 years old,
Wow.
60, 40, 20, 21. Like, females, like, it don't look like nothing. It look like
Slip a
it's,
little something in your man drink.
You said women too? Women be tapping in?
yeah, man.
Probably buy it
Just
for their
told you, slip
spouse.
something in your man drink. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Women-
But I mean, it's also the other plus that it sounds like is that it's natural. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural thing. It's not anything outside of that. So I think that's another positive to it. I was gonna ask you though, did you have like any setbacks when you was trying to trying to purchase it? Did you have,
Yeah.
or was it an easy thing to go ahead and acquire?
So my first time, see, I got too hyped. So when I first got into it, you know, I did my little the wholesale thing. I spent it. I went light, so I probably spent like, I'm gonna say $600 the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was running smooth. It was going fast. So I'm like, oh, I gotta go bigger. So the next time, not even next time, probably the third time, I tried to purchase a lot, like $1,000 worth, thousands of dollars worth, and I never got it.
Wow.
So I'm like, I was trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm like, man, I ain't get it. So it I know I'm calling you. They shipped it with UPS, I think. Yeah, UPS. I'm calling UPS trying to figure out, am I doing that? This and the third. They telling me it's like it's lost, like it been abandoned, like it's just lost, nothing they could do.
Wow.
So now I'm calling the company and they saying like obviously
I'd have cried.
no refunds and all that. So I'm trying to figure something out.
I'd have cried. Oh my gosh.
So months go by, probably like 2 months. I still ain't get it. I'm still trying though. I'm not giving up. I even tried to dispute it with my bank. My bank telling me no, the way I purchased it wasn't
Secure
enough. They saying
like you knew you was taking a risk.
basically.
Wow.
So I took that L. So I almost quit though. I ain't gonna lie to that. I almost quit. I'm like, damn, I don't know what to do. I'm scared it's gonna happen again.
Right.
So for a while, I'm like, man, I'm done, man. I gotta figure something else out. That's when going back to my man we were talking about, my man Tay. They got the clothing line. And he had basically like I said, he always been an entrepreneur. So he talked me back into it, like, listen, bro, this the type of stuff that come with like entrepreneurship. It's ups and downs. It's never gonna be smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that, you know, people, what do you say? People always, what do you say? You see how lucrative it is, but if you quit, that's easy. Like, you basically let me know quitting is easy, bro. Like if I quit, I just, you know. So what he did, he the one got me back in it. He found somebody.
Wow, another supplier.
And then he ordered it. Took an L too. He took an L too. We both took an L because I'm dumb too. I ordered half, he ordered half. He took another L.
Wow.
So I'm really about to quit. But he not quitting though. He like, bro, I'm not. We gonna keep doing. We gonna find somebody. We gonna figure this out. So we find another person this time.
Third supplier.
He ordered, boom. It comes this time. So now we got some light. We like, all right, bet we happy.
Third time.
So yeah, third time a charm. So we happy, boom. So ever since then we've been using that same supplier, been working out for us. But
wow.
Yeah, that couple thousand, I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm about to go back to work. I'm cool. I can't do this. But that's just a good person to have, good type of person to have around.
Right.
Because without him, I would have never I'd have talked, and I'm gonna keep it real. I was trying to figure other stuff out at this point.
I think that speaks to the business relationship. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you were able to assist him when he was starting.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when your time came, he came right back like, nah, I'm gonna help my brother. I think that's what's important when you get into business. A lot of people look at it as like competition, or even if you're in the same field or even if you're in different fields. But it's really about forming those types of relationships and brotherhoods like that in business that keep you thriving.
Yeah, that's fact.
That's important.
Yeah, support matters.
Yeah, because like without that, we wouldn't have Royal Honey, man.
So did you use the honey to do anything else, or is the honey the only thing you into?
Nah, you know, I'm in a couple other things.
I know that the people don't know though.
Oh, my fault. The people don't know, but yeah, no, I'm into the real estate too, and I'm into the hire car. You know, I don't know if people know what that is, but it's like the car rental business.
Okay.
So like Toro.
It's kind of like Toro, but it's a little different. Like where people rent your car out like for months at a time. Toro usually people rent your car out for
a week,
maybe a
maximum,
week, 3 days.
Right.
The way hire car work, people rent your car out like for months at a time. Like
Okay.
I never seen, since I started, I never had my car.
Wow.
I never saw my car again.
Wow.
The person that got my car right now, man, I ain't.
No, tell the story.
But no, it's the person that got it now. She had it for 2 months.
Okay.
And that like, I like it more than Toro, but it's pros and cons to everything because obviously the pros is rented out for months at a time, so
Right.
Consistency.
consistent income.
Right.
But the cons is,
You don't know what the hell they doing with your car.
yeah, they put miles on it. Man, listen, some stuff that happened to my car. Like, I mean, like I'm
I
talking
done did
about.
a lot of stuff in some rentals.
I get my car back.
Listen, I took off the whole side of a car one time in Atlanta.
She took off my gas tank. She got shot at, all type of stuff in my car. No, for real. She told me out her own mouth. I got shot at last night. I'm like, why you telling me this? But
Got shot at in your will.
She told me she was. I
I
hope
would
she don't.
never tell.
I hope she'll never see this though. But she told me she was sleeping in the car. She told me, man,
Wow.
Dang.
I almost felt bad, but I
Yeah.
feel like I felt bad. But that's another story. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna. She might see this, but she told me she was sleeping in the car. It hit a soft spot until she started having like consistent excuses.
Okay.
So I started thinking like, I don't know.
I mean, it still probably was true, but you know, people
Business
get
is
embarrassed
business, though.
sometimes. That's true.
But
That's true.
I used to give her.
You did what you could.
Yeah, at the beginning I was giving her a lot of passes, but it started becoming an inconvenience to me. You know what I'm saying?
So
But
how does the maintenance work with that? Like, do
that's what I'm saying.
is that
Like,
on you still?
me personally, yeah, I do. I still take care of it.
Okay.
But you know, the daily maintenance. What if you got in a whole month? You probably need an oil change.
yeah.
What else? That's the biggest
That's
thing.
the biggest thing you're gonna need.
Just get an
consistently.
oil change.
Yeah.
So that I just make sure I check up on the miles. You need
Okay.
an oil change. I could take it. You can take it. But I like to go to somebody, a specific person.
To get that done.
Yeah, because he
Makes
take
sense.
care of everything. He don't just change the oil. He change all the fluids and all that. So I go to my specific person. But
Get that done.
that's one of the cons about it.
Right.
Because some people won't tell you nothing. They will drive,
Wow. So you can get your car back and it's
check engine light on
completely-
and all that. Like,
Got it.
So that's one of the cons. But
Did the honey fund these other ventures or how'd you?
Nope. So the way I got into real estate, I was working 2 jobs for 3 years.
Wow.
3 years. Yeah, that's how I got into real estate. I was just
That's how you built up the capital to start.
Yeah, I was just saving money. I ain't never have. So when I first graduated college, I was in a relationship. So me and my chick, we lived together. So like a lot of people say this be nutty, but we was splitting the rent. Like we was splitting the rent because we trying to get right. Like,
Right.
like all that shit people be saying, it all matter about your situation.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's your
Yeah,
union.
we splitting the rent. So that helped me save a lot of money because I was making, like I said, I had 2 jobs. I was making a lot of money, enough money. I ain't gonna say a lot, but I was see that helped me save a lot. We splitting the rent. Our rent was only $900, so that's $450 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had that many other bills. What fucking Pico? That's another like $300 a month. So I was
Able
my
to
bills
save,
wasn't over $1,000 a month.
Right.
I'm working 2 jobs. I was making enough money to save a couple
putting it
thousand a
aside.
month. You know what I mean? So that's how I originally got into real estate because I saved for long enough, and I did it the way I think everybody should start off the FHA way.
Mm-hmm. So you only got to put down the 3.5.
Yeah, you put down a 3.5, and I purchased a triplex in Germantown,
Wow.
and then, like I said, I was in a relationship. See, that's why I say when people say that no split the rent shit. Like us splitting the rent that 1 year
That allowed you to.
take care of when we moved. She ain't had to pay for shit. Like, no rent, no fucking electric, nothing. She ain't had to pay for shit. But that's just the sacrifice you gotta take. Like certain shit you gotta just take sacrifices. Like that's just what come with.
Right, but she was taken care of.
Yeah, she
Right.
take care
So it
of
was all worth it. So ladies out there, you see what I'm saying? You got
Every situation
you,
is different.
you got
Let's be clear. Every situation is different.
No, every situation
And you do what works
if
for you.
Really do exactly what works for you. That's the period. Yeah.
And when things got right, he still took care of her.
That's-
Saying.
that is
But that was
true.
my
So
plan.
every
That was my
situation
plan the whole time. But if it was somebody else, if she didn't want to carry like that,
It just took you longer to get the same goal, but that was
no,
always the goal.
no, she would have just had to. No, I'm dead, but no, yeah, that's I'm big on like the type of person I like anyway. I don't like those type of shit. Like if our answer was wrong, I just
That
would know she
selfish.
was the one anyway. You feel
Right.
me?
Right.
But yeah, that ended up working out how it worked out, and that's how I got into that.
Wow.
Like, what do you think your ultimate goal is? You know, with all your different ventures.
My ultimate goal is, man, that's a good question. I got a couple. I can answer that a couple ways. So one of them is just to like, is to what is the word I'm looking for? Is to be able to leave something for my family. You know what I'm saying?
A legacy.
So like, legacy, perfect. Like for my son,
Right.
Like, I don't want him to have to ever worry about He's not gonna have to, but like if I ever was to be gone today or tomorrow, I don't want him to ever have to worry about depend on making something happen because I left a legacy or I left something for him that he
taking
can
care of,
carry
he
on.
can step into.
Yeah, that's my biggest goal because like we was talking about earlier, like our generation a little different, but like nobody ever left me nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like ain't nobody left me nothing. Obviously, my mom's still alive though, but she actually owns a property like real estate too.
Yeah.
But
that's a blessing.
yeah,
In itself.
yeah. But outside of that, people, your grandpa, his grandpa was ahead of his time.
carrier.
I gotta give him his own episode one day.
Yeah, he's great. But most of us don't have no. We all basically figuring shit out on our own because our parents always more about what we're saying like 9 to 5, like find a career,
get stable.
Yeah, good benefits, just be comfortable.
Yeah, pension.
We more about taking risks.
Right.
You know, a lot
Laying
come.
down roots.
A lot come. A lot come with them risks, but I mean, a lot come with taking risks, but you know.
So your ultimate goal is to be that foundation, so that
exactly.
when they look back, that you was the one that laid it down like that.
Yeah, just leave something for my youngin, man.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I respect that. I think that's the perfect way to say it because like none of us are trust fund babies.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like
I cry
I
about
wonder
it
what
every
it's
day.
like to be that though.
you want to know what it's like to be a trust fund baby. See, I
Right.
think what he said, that's why I respect it so much because my goal is
to make
to
a
be
trust
able to
fund baby.
right. To literally be able to ask my kid that. How you feel about that?
Right.
I'm not
that would
having
be-
a baby unless it's a trust
unless
fund
you
baby.
unless you know that they super
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
Women die during birth. I'm not
Yes.
giving birth
Yes.
unless.
Wow,
like, you
that's a
know,
really good point.
a
That I
lot.
never.
That
even-
is the closest a
I
woman
never-
comes to death.
that's crazy.
But she's saying like if she go, she need to make sure at that point that the
That
baby
child is taken
set
care
for the
of.
rest of that. I never even thought about it like
Taking
that.
that risk.
Especially black
I
women.
know a trust fund baby that he blew 800,000 in the casino.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Of course he wasn't. Man, of course he wasn't.
And
Right,
that's what.
but
But
that's
that's what I'm saying. Like, are those type things possible, or are those the type
Absolutely.
thoughts that you have when you that? Because I feel like none of us would be in that situation.
They definitely
Of
value
course he was
money
white, too,
differently.
like,
You see what I'm saying?
They,
Like
they do
the-
value money differently, but they grew up differently. It's not
Right.
like they, grew up struggling.
I think you can still instill value into a child and how to value money if they have wealth at that age. Is just depending on the lessons that you teach
How
that
you do it,
child.
right.
You know what I mean? How you
Yeah.
teach that child money management, how you teach that child responsibility. You can still instill that in a child, but it's just that's not always the case.
Right.
You know what I
like
mean?
almost never the case.
Yeah, almost never the case.
And I think that's where a lot of people be missing it. That whether you grow up poor or
Mm-hmm.
you grow up rich, like the act of being a parent is still active always.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Like even if you have the money to support your kid, they still need your presence. You feel what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Even if
Even
or the opposite way, like even if you feel like you gotta work 2 jobs in order to support your kid, they still need your presence. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really molding their thoughts and how they think. Because if you don't, you leave it up to what? The streets, the social media, the rappers, the entertainers. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel like that happens. Because so many times the parent is not present. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. And our parents' generation's defense, I feel like they did the best they could.
I
They
agree.
did. They worked
Right.
hard.
'Cause
They
they
worked.
grew
They
up a
worked
certain
hard
way,
though.
yeah.
They
Absolutely.
definitely
For
Because
sure.
worked hard.
I feel like our parents' generation grew up seeing like the home environment, like the man goes out, the woman stays home. Like, and a lot of women didn't want to do that anymore, so they went out, started working. But the whole family structure took a hit from all of that. And
I
I
agree.
think that's how a lot of our parents were, like, growing up with single moms, single dads, single grandmoms, just
Yep.
working, taking care of kids.
I agree.
I agree.
with that.
I agree. And I know how we talked about like passion earlier and watching our coaches and all that. You feel what I'm saying? You feel like you following your passion right now? Or you feel like you just
I do.
Okay.
I do. I just started feeling like that though.
Wow.
why you feel
The
like
only
that?
reason I feel like that now is because the way I feel, I get excited about I just get excited about certain stuff that I never used to get excited about. Like I'm gonna just say new opportunities. So every time I'm home, that's my passion. Just new opportunity is my passion, I guess.
Wow.
So I get excited about like every time I hear of a new opportunity, a new idea. I be excited about just I'm gonna say taking the risk again. I'm not using that word, but that's something I used to be scared of. But like I said, I feel like I'm following my passion because of that. Because before I used to be like, like even when I was working, I used to feel like I used to be stressed out, bro. I ain't never been this happy. I'm happy, bro. So I guess that's what it stemmed down to.
You think your son got something to do with that?
He really do. He make me the happiest. He make me happy. Like when I'm with him, it's a different feeling. So yeah, he make me happy like more than anything. Like nobody make me as happy.
That's
as
probably
him.
why you get excited about the new opportunities, because it's
Because you
it's
get to
another
create more for
opportunity
your
to
son.
create more for your kid.
That might be true, man. I ain't never think of it like that. But
Yeah, it's another opportunity to set another stone, like another opportunity to where he don't got to worry about it. You know what I mean? That's probably what it is. So I was gonna ask you this too, like for the people that's watching, people that's out here listening to your story, your setbacks, everything. If you could give them some game, man, how they could get to where you at if they interested in whatever venture they in, if they considering getting into it, considering jumping into entrepreneurship, but they in a cubicle right now, what would you say to them?
Same thing I always say, man. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the root to everything. Just do it. You got to do it to make it happen. Because if you don't do it, you ain't gonna do it. But the only thing about it is you gotta be willing to take certain risks too, though, because everything I've ever done came with a lot of ups and downs. So like I told you about the ups and downs, like with the honey, but even like in the real estate, I had some crazy ups and downs.
Yeah.
The hire car, I told you about that. Like
Yeah.
getting shot at, getting accidents, all that. Like it's ups and downs, everything. So you got to be willing to be able to deal with that stuff, and you just gotta educate yourself though. But you just gotta do it, man. Like that's the start to everything, man.
Right.
Just do it.
doing it. Hey, listen, see, I appreciate you, rocking with us today.
Absolutely.
Man. And to all out there, thanks for rocking with us again on another episode of The Winner's Culture. Like, comment, subscribe. Once again, I'm your host, Jamie Smalls, and we have...
I'm just Daryl, but you can follow me at Knock on Wood Productions on Instagram. Send this to your grandmom, your aunt, your uncle, all them.
And you can follow me at Blondie2_.
She tell them where they can find you at.
And I'm Shee, SHEE 2_.
Uh-huh.
Or you can find me with Honeyman 2Ys_MAN.
Get with him. We gonna holler at y'all. Have a great night.